You've heard the song 1,000 times. 30 years of hurt. Never stopped me dreaming. Football's coming home. But here's the question nobody wants to ask out loud. What if football was never actually going to come home at all? England won the World Cup once. It happened in 1966 on home soil, with Bobby Moore lifting the trophy at Wembley. Since then, nothing. Not one final. Not one trophy of any kind, at any major tournament, for 60 years and counting. That's not bad luck. That's a pattern. And patterns have reasons. So what actually happened after 1966? England didn't even qualify for the next 2 World Cups. Then came decades of near misses that somehow felt worse than losing outright. Italia 90, a semi-final, ended on penalties against West Germany. Gareth Southgate himself missed the decisive kick that night, a moment that would define his entire footballing life. Euro 96, on home soil again, another semi-final, another penalty shootout, another German win. Notice something. The pattern isn't England losing badly. It's England getting agonizingly close, then finding a new and creative way to fall short. Why does that keep happening? For decades, the honest answer involved something deeper than talent. English football built its identity on directness, physicality, and passion, qualities that work brilliantly in the Premier League's relentless week-to-week grind. But international tournaments reward something different. They reward patience. Tactical discipline. The ability to grind out a goalless draw against a defensive side without losing your composure. For a long time, England simply didn't train players to think that way. Consider the golden generation of the mid-2000s. Beckham, Gerrard, Lampard, Terry, Rooney, a squad stacked with genuine world-class talent, arguably as strong on paper as any nation in the world. And yet that generation never reached a single World Cup semi-final. Quarter-final exits became the ceiling, again and again, often accompanied by the same headline: too many stars, not enough structure. Here's the twist most fans miss entirely. The real turning point wasn't a tactical adjustment. It was a Football Association decision made quietly in 2012, years before anyone noticed its impact. England built St George's Park, a national training centre designed specifically to standardise how every England youth team, from under-15s up to the senior side, would play and think about the game. For the first time, there was one coherent footballing philosophy running through the entire pipeline. It took a decade to show results. But it did show results. Gareth Southgate took charge in 2016, inheriting a team still haunted by tournament failure, most painfully a defeat to Iceland at Euro 2016 that remains one of English football's most humiliating nights. Yet Southgate did something previous managers hadn't. He coached penalties specifically. He built genuine tactical identity. He reached a World Cup semi-final in 2018, England's best finish since 1990. Then a European Championship final in 2021, lost to Italy on penalties. Then another European final in 2024, lost narrowly to Spain. 3 finals appearances in 8 years. Compare that to the previous 50 years combined, which produced 2 semi-finals and nothing more. So why hasn't the trophy actually arrived yet? Some of it is simply the standard of the opposition. Spain in 2024 were arguably one of the best international sides of the last 2 decades. Some of it is England's enduring tendency to freeze in the biggest moments, a psychological pattern that talent alone hasn't solved. But structurally, undeniably, England now arrives at every tournament as genuine contenders rather than hopeful underdogs. That shift alone took nearly 60 years to build. Which brings us to now. At the 2026 World Cup, under new manager Thomas Tuchel, England opened with a statement win, beating Croatia 4-2. There was a wobble, a goalless draw against Ghana that echoed old anxieties. But England won their group, then survived a scare against DR Congo in the round of 32, coming from behind before Harry Kane's brace sealed a 2-1 win. Kane, England's captain and record scorer, now carries a golden generation of his own into the knockout rounds, alongside Jude Bellingham, one of the most complete midfielders on the planet. Their round of 16 opponent is co-host Mexico, in Mexico City, at the newly renovated Azteca, a stadium that has already hosted 2 World Cup finals in its history. Here's the mirror moment. England once again finds itself exactly where it has stood so many times before, good enough to believe, untested enough to doubt. The pattern says agony is coming. The evidence of the last decade says something has actually changed. Maybe football was never really about coming home in the literal sense the song imagines. Maybe it was always about closing the gap between hope and structure, one heartbreak at a time, until the heartbreak stopped being inevitable and started being unlikely. 58 years is a long time to sing the same song and mean it a little less each time. But structures don't lie the way songs do. England is closer now than at almost any point since 1966. Whether that closeness turns into a trophy is still being decided, match by match, on a pitch in Mexico City. So the next time that song plays in a pub and the whole room sings along like they mean it, remember what's actually different this time. It's not just hope anymore. It's a foundation, decades in the making, finally being tested on the biggest stage there is. 30 years of hurt became 50. 50 became almost 60. But for the first time in a long time, the ending to this story is genuinely still being written.